I know, it's like our fantasy football. It's
No.
like, who's gonna win, you guys? Like, the
Well,
team.
Chloe picked half the freaking cast, so
I know.
Yeah, I really did.
Welcome everybody to Out of the Box. And of course, as you can see, we have someone special. We of course have myself, Elvira, we have Johnny and Chloe, per usual. But today we have somebody who not only is a journalist on Entertainment Tonight, of course, an iconic Just Trish podcast co-host, but of course a Monster High doll collector too. We're very special today to announce Oscar Gracey on the podcast.
yay! Thank you guys for having me.
Woo.
I'm so excited. It's a good time for a Monster High episode, I think. I'm a little biased, but
Like I was gonna say, you already know our questions for today. Because I was gonna say, what began your journey into doll collecting? Because I know right now it's so much Monster High coming out, but what started off your journey?
Honestly, I mean, when I was really little, I had like a couple Barbies because my cousins were all girls growing up. The ones that were closest to me, and they had the Barbies. The closest, like the earliest memory I have is probably like the Spice Girls and like the Britney Spears Barbies.
Oh,
And I was so
those.
jealous that they had those. I was so jealous. Like every time I go to their house, I'd be like gagged. But I didn't start collecting personally until Monster High, actually. Another one of my cousins she's a few years younger than me, maybe like 4 or 5 years younger than me. She got really into Monster High. And like as our bonding thing, like I would take her to Toys R Us and we would go like pick out a Monster High doll. And then I got really into them. It was right when like Gen 1 was out. So I don't know, something about them. I just love that they're not like the other Barbies. They're not like the other dolls, like they're the outcasts. They're edgy. I was so into that. So I collected pretty much all of G1, I think, like the core. I didn't get too crazy. So I had like the core G1 dolls, and then I also collected like a lot of like Marvel, like X-Men action figures. So that was like the main thing I collected. But honestly, I picked Monster High back up like maybe 2 years ago, and it's all because of Claudina, actually. Like her
Oh, really?
YouTube videos like showed up in my like algorithm, and I was like, wait, like Monster High is still around. Like I got so excited, so into it all over again. Went through my garage to see if I still had like my core dolls. I did. I have them here somewhere. They are like all gluey though, and they're like a
The seepage
chore.
is
It's
horrible.
bad. And I'm not a good like DIY girl at all. Like I tried a little restoration, but I might need a professional's help at some point. But luckily the pre-production happened, so I got all the pre-productions. So I feel like I caught up on my collection, but now I'm trying to grow it. Like I'm trying to get the skullectors. I'm trying to get like all the core other ghouls that have come out. Because I only really had like the main Laguna, Drac, Claudine, Abby, Cleo, and Deuce. But now I'm trying to expand and get the other core ghouls too. So that's currently where I'm at. And then all these releases are just getting me so excited. I'm
I
like,
know they're getting everybody right now. It's
yeah,
like I feel like you got back into doll collecting, it seems like right at the great time, with G4
yeah.
coming out with all of that. But I love hearing your story about how you said Barbie got you into dolls. I feel like then it went into Monster High, of course, but you saw, like your siblings playing with Barbie. I feel like with a lot of us, that's how it started, was Barbie. You always have to go back to the iconic one. Do you collect any other, do you collect Barbies too at all? Or are you exclusive Monster High? Like you
I'm pretty
said?
much exclusively Monster High, unless there's like a special edition Barbie. Like I have all the Hunger Games Barbies.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yes. But my aunt, when I was little, she like her bedroom, she was like full Barbie collector. Like her bedroom was like lined with like Barbies, I remember. And they were all like in box. So I would go to her house and just like look at them all and like loved them. Because she
Oh,
was like a full-blown like collector. God, I wonder where her collection is now, actually. I'm sure like it's in some storage unit somewhere. I would love to see it because she had like all of them, like all the special editions and like the holiday Barbies. Like
oh.
she was a completionist. So I always loved like looking at her collection. But pretty much the only doll line I collected personally was, yeah, Monster High. A little bit of Bratz when I was younger, just because they were like cute, but mostly Monster High.
Oh, see, I feel like with that, that's very much like Chloe. I think you started off with
Yeah.
rats for all of your
Yeah.
journey into doll collecting. And then Johnny, if I'm not, I'm trying to remember everybody's backstories now. Oh my God. It's like, hey, friends. I mean, because you started off, seeing your siblings, Johnny, also play with dolls. So I feel like that's very common with a lot of doll collectors, seeing siblings playing with dolls, and that kind of goes, oh, what's that pretty thing over there? And then you kind of want to get into it yourself and everything. Oh, I love that.
I started with brats. That was how I started, and it was also kind of a similar thing. But with me, it was with my sister. She would get brats, and I was like, oh my god, I want that doll. So like me and her would have our little moments, and we would play, and she would give me her dolls. And then we transitioned into Barbie for a while during the Barbie Life in the Dream House era and the fashionistas. And then I got into Monster High a little bit later. I kind of got into it, I think like 3 years after it was already out.
Wow.
And yeah, I got into it pretty late. So for me, I was thinking about this the other day and I was like, oh my God, for me, my Monster High is Ever After High. That bond that
Mhm.
people have with Monster High, I have it with Ever After High. So it's very interesting.
I love that. I love how like some of these doll collections will leap over into other styles and dolls because obviously Monster High and I feel like Ever After High did at that era kind of mesh together. I feel like a lot of people who collected one collected the other vice versa. But yeah, I can definitely see with your aesthetic, Chloe, you're very always like pink and cute. I was like, she's an Ever After High girl. That's for sure. I was like, I can
Yeah.
see that. I ooh, went down on the deep end with all of it because I collect everything, as you can see by the eclectic mix behind me. So I'm always like, yeah. So I have to really give it to people who can like hone in on one thing. So with Oscar, I can definitely see like you're like, okay, I'm very like Monster High focused. That is not me. So I have to really hand it to you for being able to have that self-control because there's a lot of cute dolls out there. So I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, who was I talking to recently? I was talking to like someone on Instagram. I met they like customize dolls. I forget which. I want to say it was like Danny or something. I think it was Danny. But he was like, "Oh, you should get into like Rainbow High." And that because he's like Rainbow High is like so much better, but I'm like I know that if I allow myself to just get like one or two, I'm so completionist that it will like be the end of me, like it's just like there's so much Monster High right now. So like even dip my toe in another like genre, I think would be disastrous for like my bank account, I fear.
Oh, I could see you getting like at least the Paris Hilton Rainbow High doll.
She
Just
is
because that's
cute.
so cute, like so well done. I mean, just love that doll. Love that doll.
Yes.
I feel like that would still go with your aesthetic and collecting, and she's such an icon and everything. So that should
Yeah.
be your first Rainbow High doll.
And I also like have seen so many like my scenes, especially like customized my scenes too. And it's like I like doll customizers in general are like so talented, and I like just want so many random little like custom dolls. But I think once I get caught up with like Monster High, that'll probably be like my next era is like some customized of like my favorite like pop icons.
Ooh.
Um, because I see so many on Instagram now. Like my Explore is just like all customized. I'm like, oh, I just want them all. They're all so good.
See, I am not a customizer, but I have to hand it to Johnny and Chloe for being so talented. Chloe does amazing job doing the doll clothes. I don't know how you sew those little things. And Johnny
Oh,
started dabbling in customizing Rainbow High / Shadow High dolls. And I just so stunning, so stunning. Like I'm like sit there and I'm like, wow, I would love to do that. And my extent is I wash the doll's hair.
I can't even do that. So you're a step above me.
Oh,
Like
I can show you how to do
you
that.
have to. I was like, even like Claudina, I was watching like her What's Not the other day, and she was talking about how she braided her like G3 Claudine, and I'm like, you're gonna have to do that for me because I can't imagine like just shampooing. Like I did like one restoration on like my Clio, um, and that was like it took days. I was like so stressed the whole time. Like I can't do this again. So
Yeah, Monster High dolls are definitely one of the hardest dolls to restore because of all the glue on their heads. So I have
yes,
a Toralei and she's just super sticky. The head is a helmet. I don't even know how to fix it. I don't even know how to start. It's
Like
it's it's wild.
I know,
I
like it's so difficult, but I have to give, like I said, John, you've been getting better. Like you made, I have to send you the picture, Oscar, so you can see it. But they did a custom Chucky doll out of a Rainbow High doll, and it
Oh
is
yeah.
no way.
so cute. Like when I saw it, I was like, this needs to be in production. Like Rainbow High needs to get into the horror movie scene because it is great. So I just have to give you a big shout out, Johnny. Like that's
Oh,
still one of my favorite
stars.
customs. Like it's just so impressive to me. I'm like, especially I'm a huge horror movie fan, so I'm like, you're mixing my favorite things together. Uh, but I know we talked a little bit about G3. I heard you bring it up. Are you into G3 particularly? Like, do you have any of them?
I have the core, but they're not really giving what exactly needs to be given.
I hear you.
So I am now getting like the core, but I'm getting like custom like repaints. Let me look up. I literally just this past week asked someone on Instagram to customize. Let me get their.
I agree with you that some of the G3 dolls may not be the best, but the few that are really great are really, really great. Like, for example, Johnny's favorite character is Venus, so I will let you talk about Venus a little bit.
Slay,
And
yeah.
Johnny, talk about G3
Yeah,
Venus.
Venus,
'cause I know you love
that was a home run. That doll is a home run. I'm a
Home
Venus stan. She's my favorite character. I have almost every single Venus. And when I saw that G3 Venus, yep, she's taking it. She's taking it. She's really good.
100%. Yes, she's
Mhm.
definitely my favorite G3. I maybe even like her a little bit more than G1, to be honest. I love her design. Um, I have in the works right now, I have a custom or like a repainted Frankie, Draculaura, and Claudine. And I found this like customizer on Macari actually, and
Oh.
they all theirs were like sold out already, but I loved them. The name on Instagram is Bry's Ghouls. And let me see if I can
Yeah, I'll
show
have to look
you.
them up so I can tag them in here so we can see them. I'm not
Let me
familiar. Are either of
see.
you familiar with that username?
I don't know if
No.
that'll like focus. Hopefully it does. A client.
It's trying to
It's
focus.
trying so hard.
Oh.
Oh, my poor camera. How did the
The eyes
beauty
look great though, from what
beauty
I
guru
can see.
days?
Oh wow.
That's a little bit there. Yeah. I was like, I saw it in Mercari and I was like, I know it's sold, but like, can you please do this for me? And then so they're repainting some of those. And
Oh, I
then
love that. Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like something about G3, they're, and I know many people, especially OG Monster High collectors, they're very different. I know Mattel's intent with redoing this for the third time, was to open it up again to a younger audience, a younger demographic. So I understand that they didn't go as fierce as they did with G1. But they're trying, and I'm just happy to see it on the shelves. Like when I walk down the toy aisle, I'm like, oh, it's cool to see Monster High still there. They're still kicking in one form.
Yeah. No, me too. I think we've said it before in one of the previous episodes where we're like, when Monster High came out with G3, we weren't like super, it was like a hit or a miss. They make one really amazing doll and then they'll kind of go blat for a little bit and then they'll come back with another really amazing doll. I mean, my favorite is Abby Abominable. She's always been my favorite. And when they did the G3 one, I was really excited for her. And I really, really love her. And I love the new body for her. So
yeah, the body types on G3 are so like I love them, and I love that they're all like different,
And
I
Abby,
also
we have to give a shout
Jack's
out to
body I love
Abby.
too. Yeah, Abby's being so tall.
Love it. And she won Doll of the Year at our Doll Awards ceremony last
yeah.
year. Like, we have to give Abby a shout out. And I honestly was not surprised just because that doll did get such positive from the community,
Yeah.
Again, so G3, I feel like it's not my favorite, but when they do it right, they do hit it out of the park. I feel like, for those.
And then I did have this is my Laguna. I got actually from Peace Love Plastic.
Love
Yes,
Peace
I wonder.
Plastic, yeah.
There she is. Okay, she's really giving. I was so gagged. He posted on Etsy, and I was like, I need her because Laguna is my fave
Wow.
from G1, and I didn't love G3, but this version I love so much. I need to get a new outfit for her. I want to do
So
what's that Etsy? I think the Etsy is like Haunt Couture or something with like
Yes.
custom. Yes, I want to get one of those outfits for her to make to elevate the style a little bit, but the face is like
Beautiful.
So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, Peace
Yeah,
Love Plastic is
yeah.
definitely so talented. He was a presenter for last year's Doll Awards, so we love him. Shout out Peace Love Plastic. He did the
Mhm.
iconic Beyonce Bratz.
Yes. Oh my
So
God, it's so
good.
good.
So
Any
Oh my
good.
God.
customizer, I'm like, I don't know. I can't even imagine because the canvas is so small, right? So like Johnny, I don't know how you're doing it because it's like so detailed. Then even like in the eyes, you see like little like reflections and stuff. I'm like, I don't, there's no way I could literally ever do it.
Me neither.
Me
I would just be
neither.
like, I'm good. I'd be like, I did a few little customs back in the day with like Funko Pops and a few dolls, and I just didn't keep them because I wasn't proud of them. I was like, oh, these I used Sharpie. I know every customizer out there is like, no. But yeah, it is just not for me. I want to get better. So that's why I love watching when like my friends do it and I live
Yeah.
vicariously through them.
Yeah. I want to get like literally just like all the core, even if it's just like a small, like not drastic repaint, but just, like the little blush or just kind of like making the features just like a little bit
A little bit.
more fierce.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
I
a
want to
little,
show
little
you
touch.
this one. I love
Wait.
this is actually sent to me by iHeart's reviewing stuff on
Oh my
Instagram. And she
God.
didn't repaint the face, but when I
The
saw the picture, I was
hair.
like, she looks great. Just rerouting this doll, I was like, oh my God, to give her a completely different life. And like it made me enjoy the G3 a little bit more. I was like, oh, okay.
Yes.
I'm like, Claudine needs to not have that brownish gray tone in her hair anymore. They need to give her a different tone for the G3 dolls. Like, I don't know, she needs something like this. Disco tone.
Totally.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
pretty.
Claudine is probably my least favorite of the G3, I have to say.
Mhm.
I'm like, I keep looking at my collection's over here, so that's why I keep looking. I'm like trying to get a reminder. Um, yeah, yeah, Claudine's definitely my least favorite. I feel like she got a little bit of a downgrade, like just stylistically.
Yes, I
Um,
can see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I do think
yeah.
they do her dirty with the holiday Claudine. That one was not giving.
No. And I have like such FOMO when it comes to Monster High. I think because I missed like such a big chunk. Like I missed like the first maybe like 6 7 like skullectors because I got back into it. It was already like a couple months after pre-production, that first wave happened, and they were already hard to come by when they
Mm.
were there, but then let alone like months after, so now every time there was a release, I'm like, oh shoot, like I have to get it. So that happened with like the holiday Claudine, and now she's like on clearance, like $15 on Amazon. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
You just never know. I mean, it's kind of like playing in Vegas, with some of these dolls. You're like, oh,
Totally.
should I wait? Should I be responsible? And then, of course, for those dolls, those are the ones that you just can't get. Which, talking about some of the Skullector dolls, obviously there's a lot of new releases coming out, and I feel like the past couple weeks it's been back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
It's wild. Are you excited for, because as we're filming this, the Fang vote just got the pre-release for the Addams Family Mortician Wednesday, and then tomorrow is going to be the regular release. I know you said you're already or pre-ordered yours and already got it. How are you feeling
Yeah,
about that? Like, are you a huge Addams Family fan for this, or you're just like, I need to get all of it?
very much. I just need to get it, honestly. um I thought it was cute. I mean, I have like I'm not really a horror girl at all. That's why it's really weird that I'm like so invested in Monster High. Because I don't really have like an attachment to really any of the collectors. A little bit Pennywise, just because I have like childhood trauma with it. So I think it's like funny.
You're facing your fears through
Exactly.
dolls. Love that.
Exactly. And of course I don't have, Greta or the Pennywise or anything, but the other collectors, like I haven't really had that much of an attachment to. I just think that they're cute, I guess.
Mm.
And I'm more excited for like the Wednesday show, like Netflix show ones that are coming later this year. But I Morticia I thought was just like looked amazing. When this Wednesday I'm not like in love with, but I think that Morticia alone is kind of like worth it just because like I love the sculpt and like all the details and stuff. But yeah, these past like two collectors I've had good luck with, like the Fang Club. I've heard a lot of people have not had good luck. I don't know if like I
Yeah.
was at my work like in the office, and I don't know if the internet's just fast over there. because I heard like the numbers for like the fan club have been like super small, which is disappointing because you pay like what, like $15 or whatever, and it doesn't really work for a lot of people.
That's one thing that I mean, you two can chime in on this when it comes to, we did talk about again, I get why they do the fan club. My mom and I come from a Barbie collecting past, and with Barbie Collector in the 90s, you paid money to get the Barbie Collector magazine, and you get exclusive rights to some of the dolls. So I'm used to having to pay for exclusivity, but I feel like with Monster High, they give you like one or two exclusive dolls, and that's like it. And I'm like, is that really worth getting the fan club membership? Versus I feel like at that point, just charge $10 more for the doll and people will do it. Because I think a lot of people just get the fan club just to buy one doll. It's like kind of silly to me a little bit. But I'm glad that they're giving people incentives of like, ooh, you might get it the day before. I mean,
Yeah.
it's something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's like I actually got the fan club for the Rochelle, I think last year or something, and then somehow I missed the pre-order for that, and I don't know how because I bought it specifically. I don't know. So the only thing that I really used it for was like I think was the Gulia fan club, like that.
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Gulak,
Yeah.
Gulux.
yes. So like that's really the only thing I used it for before like the these past two like pre-sales. Other than that, it's been kind of useless for me. But you're right. Like if they just added more, like a couple dollars to the doll, I kind of,
yeah. No, I
makes
agree. Like
it.
with Barbie, I think back, like my mom and I, it would be a lot of, it was almost like a monthly thing where you would get dolls.
Oh,
And then the thing with the fan club, or well, fan club, with the Barbie Collector Club when they had it before, was you were the only people that could get this certain doll. So it was very exclusive. So they were like, you can't, it's not a pre-order thing. It's something like that. Like if you had the fan club, you would get that doll for that said price. So it made you want to join the club because you're like, I want to be one of the only X amount of thousands of people to get that one doll. I feel like it wouldn't work for Monster High. I feel like people would, I don't know, picket and riot if it was that way. At least, at least they're giving some incentive of like giving them the day before, I guess. But I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the fan club.
Yeah.
I feel like you don't get a lot. I feel like it's lacking. I
yeah.
feel like they need to do something else. But
Yeah. I mean, I literally only got the fan club to get Gulia. That was literally my
Yeah.
only thing. Yeah. And I haven't used it since. I'm not buying any of the skullectors. I'm not buying any of like the anything. And I'm just like, cool. You could have just charged me the extra 15 or whatever. It would have been fine. I'm like, I guess. They need to do more perks. They definitely need to do more perks. At least like free shipping. Free
Yeah.
shipping,
Yeah.
girl.
Free
Like,
Yeah.
shipping is wild. You're already spending like
yes.
$100 on a doll.
Yes. I'm like, do free shipping. Throw in some stickers, a pin, something.
Something.
Give us something. At
Honestly,
this
it's not a
point,
bad idea. I feel like people would do it for an exclusive pin or sticker. I know that sounds silly, but those little incentives really make you feel like you're getting your money's worth of whatever it is. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's honestly Mattel. Take notes of what we're saying right now, please. Get on it.
Mama Mattel is not going to listen to us. They are not. They are not. They don't care.
Yeah, they're like, we're just taking all of your Monster High money, keep buying all this collector dolls. Like,
Like
they
there's
already
another
got.
one next week.
I know.
Like actually, like
Yeah.
2 weeks, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you in 2 weeks. Yeah.
My
Wow.
God.
It's like you don't need to eat. You don't need to pay those bills. Like, I'm like,
Oh my God.
It
we're
is
all
crazy
there.
that because on like the Monster High like Reddit, I will see people be like, um, oh, like they'll like map it out like, oh, this collector release, and then they'll figure out like, oh,
Mm.
like I don't need to pay this until that. Like it
Oh
is
my
sad,
God.
because like it's
I don't
like
want to
this
laugh.
weird
I'm
like
sorry. I'm laughing. It's like
FOMO.
not. It's sad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like because people get that like FOMO because the releases are just like so like weirdly competitive, um, and like the resale is so crazy that people are like, oh shoot, like I'll have to figure out how to make it work, like right now, and
Yeah.
then whether it means like not eating or something, and it's crazy. Like I don't get why the number, like the production, is so low to like not meet the demand. Like I get there's like the
Well, this
exclusivity
is one
thing,
thing that a
but
lot of collectors have been upset about. Like, for example, again, I keep going back to Barbie, I'm sorry, but like on a lot of Barbie signature dolls and collector dolls, on the back it'll say one of 20,000, one of 10,000. And that's how they do their labels, right? Like pink label, black label, etc. With Monster High, they've never officially released the amount of each Skullector doll that was produced. So it's kind of like a guessing game. Like you can guess 10,000, you can guess 20,000, but no one really knows the numbers, but they keep selling out. I mean, honestly, they could be producing a lot more than we even imagine, and they just keep selling out. So I just think it's really interesting that they keep the numbers so hidden, and I want to know why they don't want to tell us. But yeah, I don't know why they just don't make more. I think a combination is, I don't know if any of you are into Funkos, but that's one thing that is kind of the downfall for Funko the past 2 years, and why they are not selling as well is because they started overproducing each of their characters to fit the demand. By doing that, now it's saturated the environment of Pops and Funko, and now people don't want to collect it because there's no longer that exclusivity that, oh my gosh, I'm one of the 10,000 or whatever it is that have that doll. So it's like I want them to produce a lot so everyone gets one. But then by doing that, it's actually hurting the longevity of the Skullector dolls, because then people are like, well, everybody has it, so I don't need to have one. So it's kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
My rant.
No, but I would agree with you on that. I not necessarily make more, but I wish they would make it more, like you said, like Barbie tiers. You're right, like different labels for each doll that they come out with, where they can like feel more of that. Oh, well, they only made 20,000 of this, so it's like that's why it sold out so fast. Oh, they made 50,000 of this. Okay. Oh, this one's only exclusive to the fan club members. Like there's going to be less of that, and I feel like that would help a little bit feel more like, yeah, exclusive. I think it would also justify the price, where it's like, well, yeah, it's like exclusive. Like, yeah, of course. But like it feels weird when they just release it and then it sells out and it's like, but how many did y'all make? But what are the numbers? What's the exclusivity? Just that
like
it's
they're just throwing the
online?
dolls out to the wild. It's like, all right, this is a
Yeah.
release, have fun, and then a week later there'll be a new one. And I agree with what you said. I think it was like 2 episodes ago, Chloe, where you're like, it doesn't give enough time for the doll, like this piece of art, to have its moment, because they're just pumping out the next one 2 weeks later. Like I'm already forgetting about Creature of the Black Lagoon because I'm so focused on the Addams Family doll. And I'm like, but the creature was so cute. It's like you didn't give it enough. Yeah, it's a lot.
Absolutely.
Mattel
I
is
miss, I miss when they would do teases. They used to do teases of dolls, and now they'll show the picture of the doll like on Monday. I'm like, oh, it's available Friday. And I'm like, people
Yeah.
don't have 1 week to save money. We should have like at least a month in advance to be like, okay, let me save some money. Let me not eat out and like save some money for this collector. But they don't give us time. They just sometimes they just shadow drop it, or like literally sometimes even less than a week. So that's just something I feel like they should work on. Like, give us time to breathe, give us time to save money. Yeah.
The other thing, it's like you don't even get the doll right away sometimes. Sometimes you have to wait for them.
Rochelle was like a year.
I'm like,
I forgot I even ordered Rochelle. And one day my parents were like, you got a package. I was like, I do? I'm like, what did I order? And it was like this massive box, and it was Rochelle. And I was like, and you know what's even sadder? I haven't even cut the tape on the box because I was not excited about her because it took so long to get the doll that I'm just like, oh, she's in the closet. It's fine. Like, it's fine.
I feel like that's gonna be me with my Ken from the Barbie movie. When is he gonna arrive? Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
October.
Because you ordered that so long ago, right?
Yeah, like in October, I think. October, November. I ordered it and it's still not here.
Mama.
Oh, and they did that with like the movie Awkward Barbie, right? Like, because I went to like order her, but it said like it was gonna ship. It was like a pre-order to like go into production, then ship like another year. And I'm like, I kind of just skipped out at that point because I was like, okay, like I don't want to have to wait. I'm like, will I even still like the Barbie movie in a year? I don't know. So I'm like, let me just skip it, Yeah, that's weird because the Jennifer was also like the same thing, right? It was like a made to order. I mean, and she's like beautiful. Like I loved her. And I'm excited to have her, but like the fact that it's like a year away is crazy. And then these other ones, like Creature of the Black Lagoon, what like took like a week to ship or whatever. So it's just so weird, like the timing of some of these.
It's just the people. I can just see that whoever runs that position to set up the times and stuff, they're just there clicking random days and numbers. They're like, this one, we'll send it to you in a year. Well, let's drive them nuts a little bit. That one, we'll ship it in 2 days. They'll be really surprised. It's like they're just like clicking random things. Oh, I know we've talked about a lot of different, obviously, Monster High characters. Is there one particular character that you really, really love from
My
Monster High?
favorite, I don't know why I have like an attachment to Laguna, and not even from like the either the movie or like the animated movies or show. Um, I think when I was little, like I just loved like everything water, and so like Laguna, I loved right away. She's the first like Monster High doll I got, and then I kind of was like, oh well, I need the other ones to go with her. But Laguna was my first. And I think I also like have like fish and stuff. So the fact that her little pet was like the fish and the person, like that's so fierce. So she was the gateway to the rest. But a new or more recent favorite is I got Elizabeth kind of recently, and I think she's kind of like my favorite right now. And I also got
Love
Batsy
Elizabeth.
from Claudina's like What's Not last week, and I also like love her too. So those are my two new favorites, I think.
Elizabeth's really popular with the community. I'm surprised that they
Yeah.
don't have a Skullector slash pre-production slash her in general back right now. I'm kind of shocked by that.
Yeah, I think I got her before she like shot up in price again, because I got her, I mean, it was, I think she was like 65 or something, which for
That's not
like,
bad.
and then they also like they like did her hair and everything, so like it's like pretty much restored. So I was like, that's pretty good, I think, for the price. But now I think she's like at 100 or something, which is crazy. So thankfully I got her like right before she like peaked again. But yeah, I'm surprised that they haven't really like teased more like reproductions of like the rest of the newish ghouls. I'm
Mhm.
actually surprised that they did like a Jennifer and like operetta recently. That kind of gives me hope that they'll do like pre-productions of the newer ghouls sometime down the line, maybe next year.
Mhm.
Because I feel like we could definitely use them because they're just getting so expensive now.
I know. Yeah, it's like
Mm,
I get it. I understand why the prices are so inflated right now because of the demand, right? I mean, Monster High's hot, G3's here. We're trying to relive the nostalgia from 10 years ago, a better time in the world. So I get why they're so expensive, but I love when the pre-productions come out because it gives everybody that moment of like, oh, I get to have that doll. That the
Yes.
box and everything, it just
yeah.
gives you that moment. I think I'm really glad that they're at least doing it with some of the characters for right now, but I'd love to see
Yeah.
more though.
I
Mhm.
almost bought like Gulia and Abby like right before the pre-productions were announced, and like thank God I held out because they were like, I think they were like 150 for like just to have like all the accessories and stuff. But I've just been like trying to like rebuild that core collection.
Mhm.
So I was like close to doing it, and then thank God the pre-productions were announced. I'm like, okay, I can just wait, and they were pretty easy to get, I think, comparatively, to a lot of other releases. I think Amazon definitely helped. Um,
I agree.
so
Made it more
Yeah.
accessible to everybody. But
yes,
did you ever find it in the stores? Because I know Johnny Clay, you didn't find them at all in stores, right?
No, I didn't even find the
I did.
first pre-productions either. They were all picked and gone.
Mm-mm.
I
See,
did. I found the first productions, but not the second.
in Walmart,
Just the first. Yeah. I actually
my
bought Frankie, Claudine, and Laguna. And then I just needed to get Draculaura. There were no Draculoras, and I
of
still need
course.
Draculaura. But yeah, I didn't get any of these pre-productions, the ones that just dropped. I didn't get any. I wanted them all, but then my Monster High collection is in storage right now. So I was like, I'm gonna buy them to put them away. I'm like, makes no
Yeah,
sense. And then I was gonna get just Abby to have her inbox, and I didn't get her on time. So I'm hoping they like do a little restock down the line, and I could get Abby. So yeah,
yeah. I barely see like G3 at my Walmart sucks, I think, because they barely have G3. It's Target. My Targets always have all the G3, but let alone like the pre-productions, like nothing at my Walmart. So I was like really relieved that Amazon had them. Um, because yeah, when I started collecting, I missed like that first wave. And like it was around when Real Drama came out. So I was able
oh,
to get those off
those.
of like, one of those, like I think it was like Big Bad Toy Store or something.
Mm.
Um, but I've like never actually seen them in a store. And I don't live that far from like the Mattel store, I think. And I saw that some people saw the Crew Productions there early.
Well, they had a restock of them at the El Segundo, like that Mattel store that you're talking
Oh,
about, 2 weeks ago, I think. And it was
God.
limited like one per person, and there was a line, of course, and there's like people waiting. But like, yeah, so if you're close there, honestly, I would check it out as much as you can because they have
Yeah.
popped up recently again, at the physical store. So
Yeah. And I'm also not far from what's that store that like first got them in? That
Hallmark.
like one, yes, because I think he's in Orange County, so it's not too far. I'm also just like I hate like driving in LA, so I'm like so lazy when it comes to like going that far. Yeah, I almost, because I think Elvira, when you sent it to me that Palmer had him, I was like, should I just go down there?
I
You
know, like, no, but they normally don't get too many, and
Yeah.
if people know that they're going to have them, there's already people waiting for that door to open. So it's a battle, but that is always an option. I don't know how they get them early, but they always do. And yeah, they mark them up like $5-10 or something on some of them, but to me, that's worth it
I think
if you
so
get them that
too.
early. But yeah, I don't know who they know in the warehouse, but they know somebody. So.
I know that's my fear too, because it is I think what it's maybe like an hour and a half away. So my fear is like, okay, I'm gonna get down there and then they're just gonna be gone, and then it was for nothing, you know? So I'm like,
You got to get up early and stock that. Just be standing outside that Palmart.
yeah,
Like,
Paul, hand him over.
yeah, that is actually a fun place. If anyone lives in the LA area, go to Palmart because outside of just that particular like location, it's called Frankincense, and Frankincense has like a
Oh,
ton of
it's in
collectibles and stuff. Yeah,
Frankincense.
Palmart is in Frankincense. Sorry,
I had
I kept
no
saying Palmart.
idea.
Yeah. So it's basically like a big warehouse of people selling toys and stuff. And there are other sellers that have Monster High dolls, a little expensive, but you can physically go see them in person, which is cool.
Yeah, I used
Yeah.
to go there. I had like a Pokemon card era for a little bit, and they have like a lot of like Pokemon card stands over there. But it is such a fun place because it's just like a collector's like dream. There's so
Yeah.
much of everything.
I like how the sunlight is. I'm a vampire and the sun is coming in right now. Hello. Are you trying to get me right now?
You have such
Very
a
Twilight.
glow.
Avoid
You're
the sun. Oh, there you
glowing.
go. My
You're
Twilight era
glistening.
here. Dracula has become Twilight. Now that would be a wild mashup. Can you imagine they mash up like Monster High, Twilight into this weird fan fiction? It probably is a thing, actually, now that I think about it.
If there was a Skullector Twilight, I would actually live. I think I would like
Honestly,
die.
I could see that, though. I could see
That'd
that.
be so fierce.
Give us a Renesmee. Yeah.
That's a
Oh,
whole.
That's scary. No, that's scary.
That's yeah. I was gonna say.
no. Oh, Twilight, what a moment. I can't believe that's movie's that old. Like I think about it, I'm like, oh, it just came out, right? And then it's like what, 2008 or something?
Yeah.
2008? Oh gosh.
That's literally me with Hunger Games too. I'm like, oh my god, because I just remember it so vividly. And even I almost went back to collect like the Twilight dolls, but then looking at them, I'm like, oh, they're actually kind of ugh. So I like refrained, but
You know, buy a custom. That's what I tell people.
that's
Like,
where
oh,
it's
you
at.
love that.
Yeah.
Because I was a huge
Yeah.
personally Spice Girls fan, and I had it's kind of embarrassing to say, like, I even owned bubble gum with Spice Girls on it.
Me
Like that's how
too.
obsessed I was. Like when it comes to Spice
Yes.
Girls, imagine any piece of memorabilia, I owned it. And so that's why I kind of look at the Spice Girl dolls and I'm like, I love you. And then I look at their face and I'm like,
I love you from
Yeah.
just like
afar.
quietly put them on the shelf. I'm like, turn away. Those face sculpts in the 90s were not kind to a lot of pop singers. The Britney Spears doll, like they were rough, you know. So I think they're getting a lot better now, for sure. Which is kind of funny, I
Yeah.
guess, bringing up like Spice Girls. Outside of Monster High, it seems like that's your biggest collection. I know you mentioned briefly action figures. Do you collect anything else? Is there anything that you're super hyper fixated on and just like obsessed with?
Um. Yeah. I'm gonna grab one really quick, actually, because
Oh yeah, we're
they're like
excited.
right
Yes.
here, and I never
Show and
talk
tell.
to anyone
Show and
about
tell.
them. So this is kind of fun. One second. I have some like hot toys, and I'm like, they're so expensive, but I love them. Wanda obviously like is probably a must.
Oh, mother.
Um,
Oh, God. I know.
Mother.
I literally like pre-ordered her and everything, and did a payment plan. It was serious. It was like $15 a month, like 2 years or something crazy. So I have how many do I have? I may have like maybe 6 like hot toys. I have like I have Wanda, like the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man and Tom Holland Spider-Man, and like Black Widow and Captain America. I think that's
Those
it.
are
Yeah.
done really well though. Like the face sculpts on those are iconic. Like they
Mm,
look just like
They're
them.
so detailed too.
so
Like
good.
it's
Wow.
so insane how realistic they are. They're so expensive, but like for the faves, I'm like kind of worth it. And it is like they put them on pre-order like literally like get focused again. Oh my god, like 2 years in advance or something crazy. So
Yeah.
that it is annoying, but it's also good because like you pay it off monthly. It's like really small increments because you have so long to wait, so it doesn't feel like it's that bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's actually really cool that they put them on a payment plan in a way. I wish Monster High did that. Honestly, I think that would make me more inclined to buy a doll that I'm not gonna get for a couple of months or year or whatever. That actually sounds really cool. Like I would do that.
Yeah, and I know there's like Klarna and stuff or whatever too, but that's like obviously credit based. But this one literally is just like they just charge like the $10-15 a month um until like it's paid off. And then even if like you pre-order like a shorter window, like they'll just adjust the increments, but it's never anything too crazy. So yeah, I really like the Hot Toys. They have like a Harley Quinn one from the first Suicide Squad movie I want so bad. I think seeing the Barbie movie and like seeing all the Margot Robbie like dolls made me really want. I'm like, shoot, I really want like a Harley Quinn like Margot. But she's so expensive. They're another one where like the value kind of goes up a lot because I think like this Wanda was like 200, I think. And some of them get like depending on like how crazy if they have like a base or something they can get like to
Oh yeah, no, I have
300.
some like I'm pointing the wrong way. Like I have some Sideshow and
Oh yeah.
what's the other one that I have? Oh no, you don't want to know how much I paid for a few of these. I'm a huge Keanu Reeves fan, and his is still going for $500. And I want him. I know I need him in my life, but I'm like, 500. I'm like, I don't know, maybe one day, you know. But they're
Totally.
stunning though. Like the sculpts are very intricate. The pieces that they come with are very movie accurate. I'm excited. You mentioned Harley Quinn, and that makes me think of the new Joker movie. Can you imagine if they did a Lady Gaga sculpt as Harley? That's what I
Oh,
would want.
they for sure they have to because
They have
they
to, right?
right? How can you not?
I don't know, but they need to.
Yes, that would be everything. Because I'm the only like downside is like they do come out so much time after like the movie. Like this one that
Yeah.
I got maybe like a couple months ago, and she was from WandaVision.
Wow.
So
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was such a long time ago. That
Wow.
wasn't even
yeah,
out.
right. The delay is a little crazy. The plus side is like the payment plan or whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll take it. But like you said with like Rochelle Elvira, it's like sometimes you like are just so excited, then it comes and it's like, oh yeah, I got this.
Yeah, that's why I'm very particular about when I do buy like some of the higher end pieces. Like I love American Psycho, and this is a very old movie reference, but I love Escape from New York, and I'm a huge Kurt Russell fan. I'm sounding like a 50-year-old man right now. I'm
I
like, I
love
love Kurt Russell. But to me, like I love those characters. I love those movies. So even if I did pay a lot or I had to wait a long time, it didn't matter because to me, I knew it wasn't a fad versus some of these other dolls that have come out that I've completely like I like Rochelle, but I'm not a huge Rochelle fan. So I was just like, oh, now should I bought her? Like, should I have spent that $100 on her? So yes, those are higher end pieces, but I'm more the longevity of the love is there versus some of the ones that you buy and you forget, which I'm guilty of. So
yeah, you're right. Because I think the price point is like so much higher in like the sideshow ones that it's like I only get them if I'm like obsessed with like the
Mhm.
character and like I know like you said, it's not like a phase that I always like will love that character.
Yeah.
Um, that's why even with the Avengers, like I'm not gonna get Iron Man. Like I really degaff about Iron Man. So I'm like only really getting the ones that I actually have some kind of connection to.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say like we all collect something outside of just Monster High and some dolls, but I feel like a lot of us are horror movie. Like the three of us are huge horror fans. Like Johnny, you collect the Living Dead dolls. I don't know if Oscar, you're familiar with Living Dead dolls.
Yeah,
It's like It's like, and I'm like, and you're like, not a horror girly. I'm like, well, we are, because that's most of everything we talk about. Outside
bet.
of dolls, we're just huge horror fans, and like Chloe and I are huge Scream fans, and it's just like, which I would love if let's talk back to Skullectors for a second. What Skullector doll would you like to see? I would like to see a ghost face doll, even though it'd just be a mask over a doll. But I would like to see a ghost face doll. Like I would be very happy about that.
I would love that too.
Are you a Scream fan?
Yeah.
I actually do watch Scream. It's like the
Select you.
that's like kind of more, it's like horror, but I guess more like thriller-y almost. Like the whole I don't get like into the gory like
Terrifier.
Yes. Oh hell no. Hell no.
Not a Saw fan.
Not a Saw fan. I can't.
I bought him. Look at him. He's so cute. He's gonna hang out with my Barbies.
Oh
my god,
She's too much for me.
I need him. I love Terrifier. That's
the other one. Trick or Treat Collectibles, but they exclusively only make horror stuff. But yeah.
And is that like more of the high-end ones or
they're I don't know how to explain it. Like they're good quality, but they're not like 300 to 500. Some of them are when you can't find them. Him I only paid 100 for.
Okay,
so, more reasonably priced.
Yeah.
What's collector would you like to see? Sorry. I'm like over here rambling.
If I choose one, I think mine would really like to see a Megan. I know she's more recent, but she would translate really well as a Monster High. I could see the whole campaign making her do that goofy dance. She comes in like this, that like
yes.
Megan would be so good.
Especially since they're coming out with the second one. So I feel like that could tie that in.
Oh yeah.
I love that.
I was on my live the other day and people were asking me that same question, and a lot of people were saying that they really wanted to see Coraline.
That's what I was gonna say.
Or 2-pack with the other mother.
Corpse Bride.
That was my other one.
Or the Corpse Bride.
Corpse Bride.
Yeah, they were saying that, and I was like, oh, that's actually like that would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would actually do really well. I could see it doing really well.
Yeah, I don't know if I have it here. I had a Coraline doll. I think it was from like Namco or something. And I remember I got it like at a Comic-Con. NECA. Yes. You're so right. And I feel like that really would, it's like almost the face sculpt is kind of similar-ish to like a Monster High doll. So you're right, that would translate like perfectly. Yeah.
Next year for Mother's Day.
Ooh, that would be cute.
That's really smart.
Love that.
Mattel.
Yeah, it's like they're teasing a Coraline Skullector, and it's like the two old ladies.
I love that.
It's the dog. It's just the dog.
Now that's making me think of do all of you remember James and the Giant Peach?
Love that movie.
Yes.
Remember how that was so spooky? But I could see that translate to a Monster High doll. I haven't seen anybody say that. I don't know where that just. I think we're talking about like claymation movie things, Coraline, and it kind of sent me off into James and the Giant Peach. But I was like, I really loved how creepy that was. I could see that be a really fun Skullector doll too.
Yeah.
Ooh,
But now that they're doing like the RuPaul's, like I'm really like we said Twilight, I was kind of joking, but I'm actually kind of serious the more I think about it. Now that they're doing like more people-ish, like
yeah.
Why not?
Are you gonna get the RuPaul doll?
Yes, I feel like obligated to, for sure.
I'm definitely like that one. I'm going to probably fight for because I'm like,
yes,
yeah.
I do wonder how that one will sell. Like, I'm like, will the demand be just as crazy as these like past collectors have been, or will it be a little bit less because it's not like really a franchise like a Monster, or will like the Drag Race fans like come over to Monster High just for RuPaul? I don't know how that's gonna work.
Yeah, it's always very interesting.
Yeah, that's
whenever the Chucky Skullector dolls released, I follow a lot of horror like Chucky fans, and like they don't even collect Monster High, but they bought the Skullector.
Wow.
So it'll be interesting to see whenever they do collabs with other things to see how both fandoms mesh together.
Yeah, I know for like Beetlejuice, like Trisha now is just getting into like Monster High, I think just because of like Sugar Spice and me like talking about it so much. But she already had like the Beetlejuice and like Lydia Skullector just because she loves Beetlejuice, and she like didn't even know anything about Monster High. which I'm so jealous because it's like so expensive now. I'm like, can I
That one's one of
please?
my favorite sets. Like that one,
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like to say how grateful I am to Mattel Creations for sending me that for free.
I'm so
Because I
jealous.
would never be able to afford it now. Because like like that one's real. That one, Pennywise, and obviously the Grady twins are probably, and Greta. I would have to say Greta are probably the four that are so. I mean, people are literally like selling their children for it. They're trading off their
Oh,
Yes.
IRA accounts. Like, I mean, they're just like and I get it. I totally get it. They're stunning dolls, but I'm really shocked at how wow those have really 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 jumped in price.
I mean,
Like
even
Yeah.
Mattel, whenever they had that pop up, they themselves
Yes.
they sold their own dolls for that scalper price.
That's
Really?
Yeah.
true. Yes, there was Claudine and I got to go to this like it was like a pop-up Mattel event in oh god, I forgot the name of the store now. It was like in a pop-up within another store. It was a weird thing. And they were selling the Grady twins and Pennywise. The Pennywise was selling for $5.25. And we're like, okay, Mattel scalping us from yourselves with things. Like it was very strange. We were very surprised they were doing that. Yeah.
Were they like actually stocked? Like, do they have a
You
few, or
had
was it like a
to
couple?
it was weird because they did have like the Vera Wang Barbie there at the time that I ended up buying on clearance later, so I'm glad I waited. But it was like a pre-event that we went to, and then they said in a week you could come back and like order it. It was very strange. I don't know what this pop-up had to do with this clothing store, but we went because there was Monster High dolls there, and yeah, they were selling them for 500 and I think $25, and which is a steal now.
Now I was gonna say, I'm like, I'd probably do that.
Because now they're going for 1,000 plus. So
Yes.
now looking back, I'm like, okay, maybe I could've picked one up. But
30,000.
yeah, I'm kind of shocked how high they've gone in price. I wonder. Here's another question for everybody: is like going forward, because obviously, like I feel like Pennywise the Great Twins were the first two to come out, right? So everybody was like, oh my gosh, I need those because they're the first ones. And going forward, do we see them getting that value, like Creature of the Black Lagoon, Adam's Family, etc., or do we feel like none of them will ever hit that value mark because people are kind of like, you know what? There's so many Skullector dolls now, like they're not like that demand isn't there, I guess.
I honestly feel like it's because it's
Mm.
one of the first ones. Because I said, like, Oscar, you said you collected Pokemon cards. The first set of Pokemon cards goes for like an extremely huge amount of money, especially the Charizard card. And I haven't seen cards that have come out recently that have gone even close to the original base set. So I just think it's because it's one of the first ones.
That's true. I feel like Greta and
Yeah.
Beetlejuice maybe stand out because Beetlejuice in general is very, very, very
Huge.
popular. I
Mhm.
also see the price going up because the Beetlejuice 2 movie's coming out. So I noticed when kind of,
Mm.
yeah, I think that might do something there too with that one. Just keep
Yeah.
going up. But I feel like again, we're getting so many now. I feel like the excitement isn't the same as with the
Mhm.
first few.
It's too
So yeah,
saturated.
it's getting a little
Yeah. I think it also depends on how popular the character is. I think that would
yeah.
right and how well the doll looks.
I
I
feel like
mean,
Pennywise
I
was
think that has to
really
do a
good.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So I
And
think it just
didn't
depends on that.
um you guys will know more than me, but didn't Pennywise like what didn't that come out like in a time where like there wasn't as many other like Monster High releases, right? Like even just the
Yeah.
core.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone was
Mm-hmm.
excited just to see like monster like a new Monster High because everyone already
That's
wanted
true.
the comeback.
That
So I
was
feel like that
before G3.
also,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's a good
So
point.
now, I mean, the only collector really is it like Nightmare Before Christmas, I think is like gone up a bit, but I think is that just because like Disney probably.
I haven't looked that one up recently. Has that one
It's
gone
like
up? I don't know.
kind of, I mean, in comparison to the rest, I think that one's like around 200. Because I
Mm.
missed like a lot. Like I got Chucky and Tiffany recently and only paid like but like 97, which for like a
For
resale price,
is not bad. Yeah.
yeah. And Dracula I also got kind of recently, and that was like a 90 as well.
Mhm.
um so really the only one that I've seen like up significantly was just Nightmare Before Christmas, and I feel like that's because like the Disney
Mhm.
element to it
Mm-hmm.
just like making the demand higher. But I don't think I can't see it getting anywhere to like Pennywise and the Grady twins and stuff, because
Mm.
I think not a lot of people were like collecting Monster High in that time, and there just wasn't as much like
Yeah.
product.
That's a good point. Yeah, I feel like and see, that's why I'm like, oh, I want to know how much they're producing of each of these characters. Because
Yeah.
I feel like with those two sets, well, the Pennywise and the Gray ones, I feel like they must not have made as many because I feel like yes, they
Mm,
sold out. Yes, people hold on to them, but I feel like I don't know. I have a feeling that the newer ones now they are producing a lot more than the first two. Because I think like I agree, the first two we didn't have G3. It was a different vibe for the Monster High. We were still mourning that there was no Monster High around. So I think they didn't produce a lot to test the waters, and here we are now, and people are literally, like I said, selling their homes for her, like it's a big difference. That's crazy. Wow.
And do you guys
yeah.
know how much they're kind of going for now? They're like the Grady twins and Pennywise are what, like 1,000
1,000
ish?
to 1,500 depending on the box. Also, some came with the art from Rebecca, like the little not a poster. What do you call that?
Like that sleeve or something?
The sketch. It comes with like the
The
sketch,
Oh,
concept, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and some don't. So that I know makes the difference too.
wow.
So but yeah, no, but right now I think they're going, I've seen them go to 1,500. I really have seen them go to 1,500 though, which is wild, but also the
Wow.
demand is there and people, a lot of people are completionists. I've noticed with any doll line people are, but with Monster High especially. So I'm not surprised that people are paying that. It's just more of like, wow. All these scalpers at the beginning are like
Yeah.
retiring,
Yeah,
buying
wow.
cars, like,
That is wild.
yeah.
That is wild. But I do think it has to do a lot with what you said about how it was like the first like dip dip into the water per se, and they didn't make that many.
I
Probably
don't
they,
think they
they
made a lot
probably
of those, yeah.
weren't sure how people were gonna respond to Monster High after so many years, I think at that point.
Mhm.
So yeah, exclusivity was there. I think now they are producing a lot more. And like I said, I think it has to do a lot with the characters as well. Like how well a character does will
Mhm.
reflect the price, I guess.
I think the Addams Family doll will do better. Like obviously, Creature of the Black Lagoon sold out. And I feel like Universal monsters are very, very, very popular. I mean, you go to Universal, like it's they they're still going, right? They're still going. So I feel like there is a fan base for those, but I think Addams Family, especially with the Wednesday show, so current, I feel like this one will probably sell out in a minute and a half versus 5 minutes, like the Creature of the Black Lagoon did. It's going to be even faster, if you can imagine. So I think it's
Yeah,
a really hot seller.
I think today it sold out, and this was just like the pre-sale, whatever, sold out in 2 minutes.
That's
And
crazy.
I mean, Creature of the Black Lagoon was fast. It was like 5 minutes for pre-sale. I know specifically. And I
Wow.
think that obviously we're filming this the day before like the general sale, so that'll be the real test because I think Creature of the Black Lagoon took like around 10 to 15 minutes in the general sale, so we'll see. But you're right. I think just the Addams Family like being so popular and across like generations because there's been so many like iterations of
Yes.
the movie and show and everything. So I think it's going to be kind of crazy.
I would love to see a Debbie doll. So anybody who watches Adam's Family Values, Debbie, that needs to be a doll. I will put a picture here of Debbie so people will understand what I'm talking about. But I love that character. And I love when Morticia and that whole entire thing. It's like, I can forgive you for everything, but pastels. Like, it's just like, I love it. There needs to be a Debbie doll. There needs to be a Debbie doll. I feel like we talked so much about Monster High, so much about everything doll related, but at the end of all of our episodes, we always talk about out of the box moment. So it can be either doll related or something that is just fun and happening to you this week. So we would like to extend that to you, Oscar. What is
Oh,
something, can
fun.
be toy, doll related, anything, something fun, exciting going on with you this past week?
Ooh, wow. I've honestly just been working so much this week. So it was like Met Gala and podcasts and all of that stuff too. Um, hold on. I have another. This is fun because I gotta like show stuff that like I just buy
Yeah,
and like
it's
never
like
show anyone. Hold
again,
on, let me
show
get
and
it. Let me get
tell. I need to put like a little like
it.
light on here. It's like show and tell.
Sorry to everyone that's listening and can't see.
This was like I had a paycheck come in and I was like, you know what? Like, let me just like buy something that I like would never like normally buy, you know? And I love Animal Crossing. It's like my favorite game.
Drum roll.
And I bought this giant like Stitches
Oh my
plush
god, I
from
love
So
Etsy.
cute.
Stitches.
Literally my favorite. It's from this Etsy seller. I think they're like in the Ukraine or something. So it took like a month to get here. And I think they're made like to order, I think
Yeah.
Oh
too.
wow.
So like I was like, I got a paycheck like last month, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. And it came in like a couple of days
Aw.
ago, and I'm like so excited about it.
Oh, he's so
And
cute.
it's
That is
so cute.
Do you know which villager you share your birthday with?
Dizzy, the elephant.
Oh yeah, I share mine with Kitty. She's kind of basic, but she's
Oh
my
no, I love her. She, yeah, the snooty one, right? Is she snooty?
yeah. I
Yeah.
kicked her off my island. I'm like, sorry, girl, you're a bit basic.
That's like this room I'm in right now. It's like my childhood room. Because I keep like my stream set up and like all my like collection stuff here because my boyfriend like doesn't, he makes me keep it minimal at our apartment. So it's like it's really eclectic. There's like one shelf
Yeah.
Monster High, a lot of shelves of X-Men. I also started collecting like pink consoles like Game Boys and stuff, so that's right there.
That's cool.
There's like an Animal Crossing corner. There's a lot going on in here.
Oh, I love that. Hey, I love eclectic. I think all of us do.
I know, I was gonna say,
But,
looking at all our backgrounds, we're all very eclectic.
like there's a lot
We're
of
eclectic.
colors and
A lot
activities
going
going
on.
on. Like always. Like sometimes I watch other people's videos and there's like a plant and like one thing, and I'm like, I don't think I could ever
Minimal.
do that. I don't think I'm
We're
like
not
so
minimalist.
eclectic.
We're
I don't think I need
maximalists.
to.
Maximalist for sure.
And then to also go into our out of the box moment, normally the three of us always pick something different, but before you jumped on, we literally were talking about Drag Race, and we know that you love Drag Race as well.
Yes.
And we started talking about season 9 of All Stars. Is there one of like the queens that you're like, okay, I'm really rooting for in season 9? Like, is there one that you think will win, you know will win?
I love Got Mick for sure. But my boyfriend's best friend's mom is obsessed with Georges. Like she calls Georges like her daughter. Like I think she likes Georges more than her own daughter. They like my boyfriend went with his friend Natalie and her mom, and they went to Drag Race Live in Las Vegas, and Georges was performing, and like literally they do this one bit where it's like they measure the screams for each queen, and so they had like a scream for Georges if you want Georges to win. She screamed at the top of her lungs, like the whole venue was like staring at her because she loves Georges so much.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
it's crazy. And you know that TikTok where it's like someone says to their mom like, look, like Jesus was spotted.
Oh,
It's
so
like,
like
give it
show
to
it to
me,
me.
Rachel,
Yeah.
please. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's her with Georges. Like she loves Georges that much.
Mhm.
So I think I've just caught the Georges bug just because of her, just how much she loves Georges. Like she got emotional finding out that Georges was an All Stars.
I love
So
that.
I think I have to root for Georges by default because of that, because she loves her so much.
Who are you rooting for? Chloe, who are you rooting for season 9?
Yeah. All of them. Honestly, I love them all.
Okay, Miss
Well,
Congeniality answer.
I know.
well,
What is this?
I really, really love Plastique. I love her. She's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Gottmik as well, Georges as well. Like I really love them. I'll leave it at 3.
Just names all of them. Just goes in order. Like, Johnny, what queen are you rooting for this season?
Well, I am a really big fan of Angeria.
We
I
have to
think
hear about
she
it
is,
every episode.
I,
Yes. I'm
I,
kidding.
I think she's drag excellence. She did so amazing on her first season that she did. I honestly, like in my heart, I feel like she's gonna win. I have a gut feeling. I just feel like she's gonna win. Her promo picture was so stunning. Like her hair, like the outfit, everything was amazing, and she has the qualities to win.
See that she's very
That's my pitch. If anybody
comedic.
at WoW is watching,
The biggest fan for Angeria. But I can see that though. Like on their season, they were very charismatic. They were funny. Their looks were great. Like I do agree. They do have a lot of characteristics for a winner. For me, I'm gonna go with Chanel because I love queens that a lot of people have forgotten. You know what I mean? Like this is like what 15 some years ago, and they didn't have Instagram. Those queens didn't have the type of publicity that queens now, even if queens are off the first episode, they still get to go on tour. They still get to play in venues. You know, and unfortunately, the first couple seasons, it was more like, who? So I'm glad that they're bringing someone back that gets to kind of relive another moment. And that's why I loved Jessica Wilde so much on the last All Stars, because I was like, okay, you're giving Jessica a new vibe, and now I'm seeing her everywhere again.
Yeah.
So I really, really love that. I love when, you know, the queens that we might have forgotten come back. So I'm hoping, I don't know if she'll win, but I'm glad that she's there.
Or at least
We're
with
all-
hearts.
We're all gonna make bets that CFR frontrunner wins.
I know, it's like our fantasy football.
No.
It's like, who's gonna
Yeah.
win, you guys? Like, the
Well,
team.
Chloe picked half the freaking cast, so
I know.
Yeah, I really did. Yeah, whoever wins gets a skullector
Wait, from whose collection? Thank you very much.
from all the losers.
That's
that's
That's how
tea.
confident I am with Nigeria.
that is tea.
Okay.
Let me start looking. What doll do I want behind you? Let me
Oh,
see.
I'm like, don't look.
Oh, that's a fun bet, because I love to gamble. So I'm like, that's a fun bet.
Yeah, you're like, let me not pick Chanel anymore.
Can I change my answer?
I know, like let me rethink some things.
Hold
I
on,
know,
hold
it's
on.
like,
hold
oh, I
on.
really want that.
Let me narrow it
Yeah,
down.
Because I still have my Beetlejuice and I still have Greta and all those. So I'm like,
Thank you for letting me know that information.
We will be picking. I think Beetlejuice is probably the worth the most out of those. So yes.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, see, now that's some gambling. Okay, people talk about like putting down $20 on blackjack. Put down a skullector on that table, then you know you're serious.
Then you're
Like,
serious.
that's a real
Yeah.
poker game. Okay, like,
Showing up to gamble with dolls. I got this doll right here.
hey, I have paid off
High
debts
roller.
giving people dolls. I will be very honest about that.
I mean,
Like,
you
what do
pay
you
us
want?
in
They're like,
dolls, so
I
our
paid you in
currency
dolls.
in our world.
I'd rather have a doll, honestly. That's
Yeah,
how I wouldn't mind.
You're like, I would like to get on this
I would
payroll
take
doll
it.
thing, please. Like,
Actually, I'll take a Pennywise for like a week's worth of work.
honestly, yeah. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, how much would you work to pay for that doll? I mean, yeah.
It kind of evens
Yeah.
out.
It evens out. Oh, this is so much fun. Thank you so much, Oscar,
course.
for being here. We obviously extend out if you ever want to come back and just chit chat more dolls. I'm sure there's going to be 25 more collectors in the next couple
See you in
weeks.
2 weeks.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
We have to circle back for RuPaul. That's going to be so crazy. No, once we have RuPaul in hand, we need to reconvene, because I'm like, that's going to be wild. I can't believe this is a RuPaul Monster High. Like, process that. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
That is a lot. Like, I'm like, wow, they're just not stopping.
It's so
They're not
wild.
eating it, but it is quite a bit though. As always, thank you everybody for watching us here on YouTube and also listening to us everywhere podcasts are available, whether it's Amazon, Spotify, etc. And in the comments below, let us know. Let's see, I feel like we talked so much about Monster High. Are you guys excited for the RuPaul doll? Because by the time this comes out, Addams Family will already be released. So did you get the Addams Family? Put that in the comments. There you go. And make sure to check out Just Trish, because that's where you can watch Oscar every Tuesday for their hot topics. We're all obsessed. So thank you again, Oscar, so much for being here.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Bye, everybody.